going to walk you through this presentation today. And as I do that, I'm really going to cover three general areas in very broad terms. I'm going to talk a little bit about Advocare, our history, who we are, and what has made us the amazing company that we are today. I'm going to focus on our products, specifically something called the 24-day challenge and some product results that we have personally seen from our team. And then I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about the business opportunity associated with Advocare. And as I walk through this, always keep in mind, if you have any other questions or if something doesn't make sense, please be sure to reach out to the individual that invited you to watch this webinar, and they can help you answer your questions. Now, I want to start by introducing myself and my family, but before I do that, it's really hard for me to start with any introduction of ourselves without introducing this lady first. This is Brooks Reed. Brooks is one of my wife's best friends. And you can see that Brooks had been on a weight loss journey from October of 2009 through January of 2011. And during that period of time, Brooks actually lost 70 pounds. And in those photos in the far left and in the middle, she was actually going to an 80s dance party. So that's obviously not how she dressed on a regular basis. But from October of 2009 through January of 2011, she had lost 70 pounds. And when that middle photo was taken at the beginning of January, her doctor told her that she was still technically obese, and Brooks was devastated. An old sorority sister friend of hers reached out to her and shared something with her called the 24-day challenge. And you can tell from January of 2011 through the end of January, that's when Brooks was doing the actual 24-day challenge. And that photo on the right is those are her end results. Brooks had gone on to lose another 12 pounds, and even more importantly, went from a dress size 12 down to a 6. So you can see that she lost all the inflammation that was in her body and in every cell in her body, and you can just see how much better she feels and looks. And that is what caught my wife's attention. And this is my wife. You can see Rebecca in some of these photos, and that's our son Brandon, who's now just turned 9 years old this past fall. That's what caught her attention. And now my wife was a dance instructor, still owns BFAB Fitness, and was teaching anywhere from 7 to 10 classes a week, and was in tremendous physical shape, but was very depleted from an energy perspective. And she saw how much better Brooks looked and felt, and she said, I want to do that too. I want to do this to see if this can help me to just feel better and have more energy. And that's when my wife asked me to do the challenge with her, and like most husbands, I was initially reluctant, but like all good husbands, within 24 hours, I quickly agreed to do the challenge with her, and we both just felt amazing when we did it. We absolutely blew the challenge up. I still distinctly remember on day 12 of my first 24-day challenge, I used to get up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning and do P90X. So I did my workout. I was a vice president of human resources with a $2 billion manufacturing company that was based here in Nashville, Tennessee. And I would go to the office. I would spend 10 or 12 hours there, get home later that night. And, by the time I spent some time with the family, and spent some time with Brandon and got him ready for bed, I was typically ready to hit the couch and think about going to bed and getting up the next day and doing it all over again. But on that day 12, I just felt amazing. And I remember telling Rebecca I was going for a jog that night. And so I was getting my second workout in of the day, and I could take you to the exact spot in our neighborhood when I said to myself, I feel amazing. And that's when the first light bulb went off. And I said, this stuff is absolutely gold. And if it makes everybody feel as good as it's making me feel right now, then we may have something on our hands. And, with that being said, I fully admit that I was still very skeptical about the income or the business opportunity associated with Advocare, but told Rebecca if it's something that she wanted to take control of and run with, she could. And she absolutely did. After 11 months, and you got to remember, we got started in February of 2011. By the end of 2011, the checks from Advocare were paying for all of our household fixed expenses, mortgage payments, car payments, cable bill. any regular budgeted fixed expense, Advocare checks were covering. And that's when the second light bulb for me went off. And I finally started to see what this could be from a business perspective. We started working this jointly as a couple, and by March of 2012, I was in a position where, I should say, we were in a position where I was able to retire from what had been a nearly 20-year corporate career working for companies like Caterpillar and Shell Oil, and I was able to walk away from that and become a full-time father, full-time husband, and focus on growing Advocare with my wife, Rebecca. And that was in March of 2012. By August of 2012, we were diamond distributors within Advocare and earning anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000 a month ever since then. And so, the reality is here, Rebecca and I are not doing anything specifically unique. We are not doing anything that a lot of other people are not doing. And there are a whole lot of people within Advocare that are doing a lot better at this than we are. And the secret here is we are just simply using the system that has been laid out for us. What makes Advocare so successful is the fact that it is a 20-year-old company. It's got a proven track record. It's been around, and we focus on providing solutions in two very key areas: health and wellness. And we all know what's going on in America from a wellness perspective. By the year 2030, over 50% of all Americans are expected to be technically obese. So the need for our products is continuing to grow every single year. And then we also offer a financial solution to individuals that are looking for a Plan B income, or are looking to find a way to get out of debt, or are looking to save money for retirement. The statistics that you see for the people that are saving for retirement are absolutely staggering. I saw a statistic the other day that said only 4% of all Americans age 30 and over are expected to have the capital necessary to be able to retire at a level of income that they are used to living by the time they get to retirement age. So this offers people an opportunity to start saving for retirement, or to come up with a Plan B income, or just to save money for college savings, or just to help them find a way to get out of debt. Now, who are we and what do we do? And our brand has been growing rapidly for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons has become our sponsorship with NASCAR. We are the sponsor of the number 3 car. Austin Dillon won the Nationwide Series championship this past year, driving the number 3 car. And if there's any NASCAR fans out there, you know what a big deal that is. We also sponsor 2, or I should say 3 NASCAR races now. 2 in Phoenix. We sponsor the Advocare 500 twice a year in Phoenix, and the Advocare 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And just for instance, while that is aired on ESPN over the course of a weekend, and the 3 races associated with the Advocare 500 in Atlanta, over 5 million viewers see our name, our brand, our logo, and are curious as to what is Advocare. What does it do? And that's one of the reasons why so many people are becoming more interested. We have gotten very involved with college football. We will be sponsoring what was formerly known as the Independence Bowl for the 5th consecutive year over Christmas this year. And that bowl game has featured teams like Georgia, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Missouri, again aired on ESPN. We sponsored 2 college football kickoff classics at the beginning of this football season. And our sponsorship is actually starting to stretch into college basketball as well. We are very excited for the December 6th showdown on ESPN between the University of Kentucky and Baylor University men's and women's basketball. And again, sponsored by Advocare and advertised on and being aired on ESPN. And now, as a big football fan, just a sports fan in general, I love our involvement with the NCAA and sponsoring of all these major events. But I've got to admit, as a graduate of Purdue University, and as somebody who has followed this gentleman for years, I don't think anything is more impressive to me than our relationship with New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees. Drew is our national spokesperson. And what I love about his story is the fact that Drew was a non-paid product endorser, which simply means that he received a product stipend to endorse our products for over 8 years until the Saints won the Super Bowl 4 years ago. And that's when Drew came back to Advocare and said, I'd like to have a larger role with your organization. And that's when he did become our national spokesperson. He took on a larger role with the organization. And he really leads what is, to me, just a stable of endorsers like no company I have ever seen. We have over 300 NFL players, one in every single locker room, Major League Baseball players, golfers, PGA golfers, you name it. And not to mention the fact that we have a relationship with over 60 NCAA schools and have representatives from schools like Auburn and Ohio State and the University of Kentucky, University of Wisconsin on our sports advisory council. And so again, as a huge sports fan, that certainly caught my attention and just gave Advocare a lot of credibility to me in the very early stages of our involvement. Now let's focus on the products and what kind of results can people expect. Now I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of many different individuals on our team and the results that they have achieved. This is Lacey Depew. Over the course of a year, she got started in January, and by the end of 2012 had lost over 125 pounds. And you can see her results with her before and after pictures. And you know what I love to point out in that after picture with Lacey is you can just tell, especially by looking at her arm, you know, she doesn't have the skin, or she doesn't have, a lot of times when you can tell that somebody has lost over 100 pounds, because you can tell because their skin can be somewhat saggy, but it looks very great looks very good because of some of the products that she was using while she was on the 24-day challenge. They're helping to strengthen her muscle tone while she's actually losing that weight, and it's protecting her lean muscle tissue. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. This is somebody that's near and dear to my heart. This is Shelby Andahl. You can see Shelby in the upper left-hand corner. Shelby used to work with me with my previous employer and was somebody that I shared Advocare with shortly after I walked away. And Shelby got started January 10th of 2013. And actually, the slide is just a little bit out of date now because her results keep changing so dramatically. But Shelby has lost now over 80 pounds. And even more significantly, she has lost over 50 inches, which is just tremendous. And Shelby actually has two twin boys, Connor and Clayton. And she even laughs that 50 inches of person, so 50 inches of body lost, it's actually taller than her children. So she's lost more than one of her children. And again, just astounding. But it's also gone on to impact her family. Her husband, Tyler, has lost 50 pounds. Her brother, Michael, 35. And if you go to the bottom, that is her mother, Susan, has now lost over 50 pounds. And her father, that used to be known as Big Rick, has now lost actually over 60 pounds. So it's just an amazing story of how Shelby's physical transformation has gone on to impact her entire family. And as a family now, they have lost well over 250 pounds. And that's gone on to impact many others, just even outside of Shelby's family. And this is a friend of hers. This is Kaylin Cassidy. She is a college cheerleader. And I love to point this out because you can tell with the previous slide that, you know, Advocare impacts, you know, people of all ages. They also love to point out that Kaylin was in very good shape when she started the 24-day challenge. Again, a college cheerleader. In the upper left-hand corner is her day one photo, and you can tell she was in great shape to begin with. The upper right-hand corner is day 10, and the bottom left-hand corner is day 14. And you can tell she is starting to get tremendous definition. And then the bottom right-hand corner is day 1 compared to day 24. So again, Kaylin did not have a lot of weight to lose, so she only lost a couple of pounds doing the challenge, but she actually lost over 20 inches. Which seems hard to believe given what great shape she was in to begin with. But when you add it up between her thighs, her waist, her hips, her chest, her arms, it's over 20 inches, and you can see the increased definition associated with that. This is Zach Zimmerman. Zach was a high school football player right here in Brentwood, Tennessee, but after he graduated from high school was ready to shed some of that excess football weight and started with the 24-day challenge and lost 30 pounds in less than 2 months. before he was ready to go off and start college. And this is my buddy, Mike Jorgensen. Mike was a collegiate wrestler who saw those photos in the upper left-hand corner and just was not happy with what he saw in those pictures. Decided to get started with the 24-day challenge, also lost 30 pounds in 2 months, and got back to his former playing days weight and shape and using the performance products to work out the way that he used to back in college. And he's kind of cheesing it up there in that photo, but he's showing off his guns and he's showing what these products can do. So those are just a handful of examples of what these products can do for different people of different sizes and different ages. So what is 24-day challenge? Like we've talked about, it's just a great way for people to break through weight loss plateaus. It's an excellent way for somebody who is impatient to get started and to get going quickly with a healthier program. It typically helps people lose between 10 to 12 pounds and 10 to 12 inches during the 24 days. So people tend to see results very quickly. So it's a great way to get off to a fast start. And with Rebecca and I, we use this a lot as a reset button to either get us ready for special events or a special vacation, or a lot of times to recover from a vacation in which we may have overindulged just a little bit. So what does the 24-day challenge actually look like? Well, I always like to emphasize with people that it is actually an eating program. Okay, it is a very healthy, nutritious program. You eat a very well-balanced diet, and surprisingly, you actually eat a lot while you're going through the 24-day challenge. You're going to eat lean proteins like fish, chicken, turkey. You're going to eat complex carbohydrates, and that's great. I hate to hear people on diets where they are depriving themselves of carbs, because carbs are so important for you. Carbs are energy. They're good for you. We just want to make sure you're eating the right ones, like sweet potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal, quinoa. You're going to eat lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. So again, you're eating a very well-balanced, nutritious meal plan. We provide you with a recipe book, a grocery list, and options to choose from each of those categories. And essentially, the analogy that I like to use, it's like you have a little furnace inside your body. And as we map out for you, when you eat your proteins, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, essentially what we're doing is we are turning on that furnace in your body first thing in the morning. And we want that furnace to burn hot consistently throughout the course of the day. But instead of shoving coal into your furnace all day, we're going to have you putting just a steady stream of healthy food into your system. And that's one of the things that's so great about this is there's no crutch associated with this program. You are literally training yourself and training your body to eat correctly and how to use that throughout the course of the day. So now, what do our products provide you? Well, for instance, while you're going through those first 10 days, that's what we call the cleanse phase. During those 10 days, you're actually kind of cleaning out the tank. You're cleaning the lymph filter out in your dryer, just so your dryer will work better. So will your body. And during those first 10 days, you're going to take an herbal cleanse tablet at night that's just going to help break up all the junk and the gunk that's inside your system that's been just accumulated over the years. And then first thing in the morning, you're going to take a fiber supplement just to help keep you regular. And just, it's a very gentle and uneventful cleanse. But that fiber will help you move everything out. And as you get the bad bacteria out of your system, we give you a healthy probiotic to make sure that you have the right digestive enzymes in your intestinal tract. And then as you get the bad fats out, we give you a very healthy omega fatty acid to put back in there to make sure you've got the right fats in your system for your hair and your skin and your nails and quite honestly, every cell in your body. And then as you're doing all this, you're actually using our sugar-free energy drink called Spark. And guys, it's 3 to 5 hours of just simply awesome. It's loaded with vitamins. It's got over 21 vitamins and minerals in it. It's got neuroactives for your brain to help clear those cobwebs. It has herbal caffeine in it to help you break diet soda or coffee addictions. And that's really what's going to kind of keep you going throughout this whole process. You're absolutely going to love the Spark product. And then as you transition into days 11 through 24, that's when we can start to customize it for you a little bit. If you're somebody that needs to lose over 20 pounds, we're probably going to recommend that you get on MNS, which stands for Metabolic Nutrition System C for appetite control. It's going to help expedite weight loss results for you. If you're somebody who is maybe an athlete, or if you're looking for just more sustained energy throughout the course of the day, if you're somebody right now who tends to get really tired and really sleepy come 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you may be interested in MNSE so that you have a more sustained energy result throughout the course of the day. Or if you're somebody like me who's just a weekend warrior dad and you're looking for a good overall general multivitamin wellness strip pack throughout the course of the day that's going to give you a little bit of everything, then MNS3 is probably the right product for you. And as part of this, you get meal replacement shakes. It's 24 grams of proteins and carbs. And again, this is not a shake program, but those meal replacement shakes come in very handy for people who are looking for a great source of nutrition on the go. We typically use those for breakfast because it's a quick, easy way to start the day. And again, to get that furnace inside our body kick-started right off the bat. So that's the 24-day challenge in a nutshell, guys. It is not complicated. It's very easy to follow. We've had people from all kinds of professions, including teachers and executives and surgeons and pilots and all kinds of people in very unique occupations that have been able to do this program extremely successful. And now I do like to show this too because I know we typically have coaches and various athletes and trainers that are watching this as well, and I want to make sure you're aware that we do have a full array of performance products. And this chart just simply shows you the options that are available before exercise, during exercise, and after exercise, and then even ongoing to add or bulk up or build muscle tissue. And what I like to point out here is that in the upper right-hand corner, there's this green check mark that also has the words informed choice by it. And that just simply means that all of our performance products are independently tested. And that's one of the reasons why we can have the relationships with the strength and conditioning coaches at the universities that I mentioned earlier, with all the professional athletes and even including Olympians, okay? And as a father, and as I obviously don't need to use the same products that a multi-million-dollar athlete like Drew Brees needs to use, but as a husband and a father, this means that I'm comfortable if somebody like Drew Brees and the Olympians and the other athletes are using our products and they're comfortable with that and they know they're safe and they're healthy, then that means I'm comfortable with my family using them as well. So if any of this seems appealing to you, if there's something about this that is interesting to you, there are multiple ways that you can get involved. And I'm going to walk through those briefly. And again, if you want more information, please follow up with the individual that invited you to listen to this call. But there's 4 different ways that you can become involved with Advocare. You can become a retail customer, which just simply means it's like you're walking into Target or Best Buy and you're purchasing a product off a shelf and you're paying full retail price. We do not recommend that people do that. At a minimum, for $79, you can become a wholesale customer. It's very similar to having a Sam's Club or a Costco membership. For $79, you're going to get $60 worth of products. Those are products that you can use during the 24-day challenge or however you decide to start your product usage. So for those extra $19, you're going to get a 20% discount off everything in the store. And that discount can range all the way from 20 to 30%. And the very nice part about this is that you absolutely have no continuing obligation. Okay, there's never any minimum that you have to purchase. This is not like the old CD of the month club where something's going to show up on your doorstep and you either have to buy it or return it. I mean, it is literally your discount to use when you want to and to purchase and to shop when you choose to. There's no minimums, there's no quotas, again, no auto shipments, no monthly fees, simply your discount to use when you choose to. Now, the 4th option is what we refer to as the business advisor, which is the 40% discount. It is the maximum discount. It's the cheapest way to use our products. And what does that look like? That is a $3,000 retail order for $2,100. Now, what does that mean? That means that you actually get to shop, you actually get to purchase $3,000 worth of retail products. So you pick your cart. If you're an athlete, if you're somebody that wants to use performance products ongoing and you know you're going to use those over a course of a given period of time, or if you're somebody like in the previous photos, like a Shelby Andall or a Lacey Depew, somebody who has a long-term weight loss goal and you know you're going to continue to use the products, somebody like Shelby wanted to use these products as cheap as possible. And everybody that I showed earlier is at this 40% discount. Now, again, that's a 30% initial discount and a 40% ongoing discount. So people tend to look at that really in one of two different ways. A lot of people look at it as a $900 savings because, again, Shelby knew she was going to continue to use products. She essentially just saved $900 off her product usage. And other people look at that as a $900 profit because it's built in. There have been people that have had their advisor order spoken for before it showed up on their doorstep. So they immediately turned that $2,100 investment into a $900 profit. And, just going back to our story real quick, and again, I talked about the fact that I was pretty skeptical as we were getting involved with Advocare. But one thing that I did understand when I saw this advisor option was that I figured really one of three things were going to happen. We were either going to continue to use products, which we knew we loved, and I thought, why not use those products as cheap as possible? Or two, we were actually going to share those products, or I should say Rebecca was going to share those products. And if she did share them, then why would we not want to maximize the return on our investment right off the bat? And that's one of the things that the advisor order opens up is all the residual forms of income. And I will talk about that in just a second. But you only get the residual income when you're at that 40% discount level or the advisor level. And the third thing was, and then this was really the kicker for me, is that guys, Advocare gives us a year. We have a year to return this if we're not happy. So if 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or 9 months from now, you decide this isn't for you, you can return any unused products and get your money back. And when I learned that, I thought, well, why wouldn't we do this? At a minimum, we're going to use our products as cheap as possible. We can try this out, see how it works. With the fact that there's no continuing obligation, we are not going to lose money. And we took that $2,100 investment and turned it into approximately $30,000 a month now. So it's been a great return for us. So what does this look like? And again, I mentioned this earlier that Rebecca and I are not really doing anything unique. Advocare is exploding. Everything that I've showed you at the beginning of this presentation has basically led up to this slide. I mentioned earlier that we're a 20-year-old company. In 2009, we began sponsoring the Independence Bowl. That was the first year that we hit $100 million in revenue. So it took us 16 years to get to that point. If you jump forward to 2011, look at the blue bar graph. That's when we hit $230 million. So we more than doubled in 2 years what it initially took us 16 years to accomplish. In 2012, we hit $420 million. So again, that was a 20-year-old company that grew 80-some, I think it's like 83, 85%. Guys, that just doesn't happen very often. And as we sit here right now in early December, we are going to be over a $600 million business in 2013. And those numbers in 14 and 16 that you see on the chart, I think are extremely conservative. We are looking at potentially being a billion-dollar company by the year 2014. So guys, your timing right now is absolutely impeccable. And not to mention the fact that as we sit here in December, January, February, and March are just huge months within Advocare because everything we do is focused on what people are typically looking at as in terms of New Year's resolutions with regards to health and wellness, losing weight, gaining energy, adding on muscle, and then also with regards to finances because typically everybody's New Year's resolution has something to do with either health or finances, and we offer solutions in both of those areas. So now, as a member of the DSA in good standing, we're legally obligated to share with you what our income looked like for those people that are earning residual income, earning some form of leadership bonus. And again, this is not an explanation of the compensation and marketing plan, but I wanted to show you what the average incomes looked like in 2012 for the people that reach these various levels. Obviously, silver is the entry leadership level, and even at that level, that's almost $13,000 a year, a little over $1,000 a month. And you earn these residual forms of income by helping other people become healthier, by helping them look better, feel better, or perform better. And the more people that you help, the more the way that's how you basically work your way through this chart. So the more people you help, you start working your way to gold, 3-star gold, ruby, emerald. And like Rebecca and I are now at the diamond level of distributorship. And even just some of these numbers are very staggering, but I want people to focus even in on just that entry level silver leadership. That's over $1,000 a month. So think about how an extra $1,000 a month would impact you and your family and your household budget. Would that make a difference for you? These are some quick examples of some people that it is making a difference for. This is Tracy Boswell. She's on our team here in Nashville. She literally got started with Spark. She did the 24-day challenge just to simply gain energy because she was training for a marathon. And now by sharing these products with her co-workers, her athletes, the other runners that she knows, Tracy has earned the silver level of leadership, and again, earning around $1,000 a month right now, so making a tremendous impact to her family. This is our good friend Ellie Dowling. Ellie was a speech pathologist with Vanderbilt University here in Nashville. Ellie and her family literally live about 10 minutes down the road from us. They got started with Leon's 24-day challenge. He lost 20 pounds and 16 inches in 24 days. That caught the attention of a lot of their friends and family. And that's when people started saying, hey, what are you doing? How do we get it? That's when Ellie said, all right, Ryan and Rebecca, what do I need to do here? They became advisors. So again, they got to that 40% discount level so they could take advantage of the residual income. They got to that level in February of 2012. By February of 2013, they had become Ruby distributors. So while she was working full-time, while she was raising Campbell and Reagan, who you see there in the photo, and Leon was running his own business as well as the CEO of a healthcare software company, while they were doing all that, working full-time and working Advocare part-time during her commute and in the evening after the kids went to bed, and using Rebecca and I to help grow her business, she became a Ruby distributor. And we are extremely proud to say that similar to what I did, Ellie was able to retire from her job at the beginning of the summer. She was home all summer long, was a full-time mom to Campbell and Reagan, has continued to work her business on a part-time basis, and has since grown that to what we refer to as the 6-star Ruby level, and is making on average now anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 a month. Now, this is just a quick snapshot. These are a lot of individuals on our team that are earning some form of leadership level that I showed you, and they are literally geographically dispersed all across the country. From Illinois, Indiana, we've got Texas represented here, Mississippi, Missouri, Kentucky, you name it. And again, just friends, family members that are all earning some form of leadership. And underneath each one of these photos is an entire team of individuals who are, again, looking better, feeling better, or performing better. So if any of this is appealing to you in any way, shape, or form, you can get started literally today for as little as $79. Again, you can become a distributor, which is very similar to a Sam's Club or a Costco member. That just means you have a wholesale discount on your products. You can get started on the 24-day challenge. And if the business side of this, if the income, even if it's just $200 a month or $500 a month or $5,000 a month or more, if that is appealing to you at all, I would encourage you today to simply make a list of people. Can you think of 10 people who need to lose weight? Can you think of 10 people who might be looking for an additional energy boost throughout the course of the day? Maybe because they're like Brooks Reed and they're chasing 4 kids around all day. Or maybe they're like me and they're working 12, 14, 16 hours a day and they're exhausted and they're looking for additional energy. Or maybe you know people that are really into fitness and exercise and they're using products now, they're using performance products now. Would they rather switch to a product that's of a higher quality and that professional athletes are using? Or maybe there's somebody who is in need of an income opportunity. Several of the people that I showed you before were, including our sponsor, Brooks and Chris Reed, who were in debt because he had debt left over from anesthesia school. And again, those are people now that are now making $40,000 a month. So that's what Advocare can do for people. If that's something that you're interested in, get to advisor as soon as possible, open up the residual forms of income and take advantage of that opportunity. But the reality is, guys, that this is an individual decision and the choice is yours. Everybody who is on our team, the hundreds and thousands of people that have been successful with these products and or the business opportunity were ready to make a change. They were ready to do something. And if you're looking to lose 10, 15 pounds, maybe you're looking to lose 50 or 100 pounds, or maybe you've got a financial situation that has been eating away at you for months or even years. This is an opportunity to do something about it. But quite honestly, if nothing changes, then nothing is going to change. And that's kind of where we were. And this is how I'll wrap things up. As I go back to our story, and I told you where we were from a health standpoint, we were not looking for a weight loss solution. We were certainly not looking for a financial opportunity. Between my job as a vice president and Rebecca's business, we were on very stable ground financially. But what we realized we had was a time debt situation. I was traveling 2 to 3 weeks a month, and even when I was in Nashville, when I was working out of our local office, I was having a hard time getting home by 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night. And the reality is, when you sneak out of the house every single morning before the sun comes up and you're barely seeing your family, you really kind of start to feel like a stranger in your own home. And that's kind of where I was. And after being exposed to what Advocare could do for other people, like us in similar situations, Rebecca and I realized that this was a situation that could be the solution to our time debt problem. And that's literally what it's become. Here, all these photos that you see now are additional events, I'll just say experiences that we have been able to experience as a family and that I have been able to experience as a father that I would have missed in the past, because now I'm basically a full-time parent who works from home. I'm able to volunteer at Brandon school events. We're able to go on unlimited vacations because we no longer have to worry about vacation time. And we no longer wake up to an alarm clock. We woke up this morning with our son when he got up and was getting ready for school, and we were able to eat breakfast as a family. And Rebecca and I will spend the day together. We typically work out during the middle of the day together, and we do still work. This is not at all a get rich quick scheme. You do still work, but the beauty of this is you have the freedom and the flexibility to choose when you work and when you're focused on the business and when you're focused on family time. And we now have that decision. We have the freedom to make those decisions. We do not have other people dictating what our schedule looks like. And for us, that has been the most valuable aspect of Advocare. So again, if any of that's appealing, if you have any questions, please reach back out to the individual that invited you on this call. Feel free to reach out to Rebecca and I. We would love to help you with this process, answer any questions you have. So with that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.